Bill O'Reilly here, Tuesday, February 16th, 2021. You are listening to the O'Reilly Update. Here's what's happening across our nation. Support for a third political party hits a record high. The campaign to recall Governor Gavin Newsom of California reaches a major milestone. Oil prices jumped 24% in 4 weeks. Frigid temperatures deep freeze Texas and other states. A new study shows most children now experience eco-anxiety because of climate change. Also ahead, what will Donald Trump do now? But first, Gallup reporting a record number of Americans now back a third party. 62% of adults believe Republicans and Democrats do such a bad job that a third option is needed. Just 30% of voters believe the traditional two-party system is working well. A whopping 72% think America is at its lowest point since the revolution. More than 1.5 million Californians have signed a petition to remove Governor Gavin Newsom. That figure passes the threshold required to place a recall initiative on the ballot sometime this summer. The governor's approval rating has dipped 18 points since November because of his handling of COVID and the homelessness situation. Price of crude oil topping $60 a barrel for the first time since January 2020, a year ago. That's a 24% bump since Inauguration Day. President Biden targeted the energy sector right off the bat, and he's limiting fracking, suspending new drilling on federal land, and slashing subsidies for the fossil fuel industry. So, gas prices will continue to rise in America. Thank you, Mr. President. Folks in Texas experiencing one of the coldest winters ever, temperatures dropping to 10 degrees in Houston, 8 degrees in San Antonio, knocking out power and closing roads across the Lone Star State. The Biden administration declaring the region a national emergency and deploying FEMA to assist first responders. Some are blaming alternative energy failures for the rolling blackouts in Texas and other states. New study says many children experience eco-anxiety. The poll says 80% of people between the ages of 8 and 16 say climate change causes frustration and depression. In a moment, former President Donald Trump, is he poised for a comeback? Next. Could COVID cost you your home? Cybercrime up 75%. And the most serious of all is home title theft. Bill O'Reilly here for Home Title Lock. That's right, cyber criminals, foreign and domestic, are after our homes, and it's easier than you think. Title documents to our homes are online now. The thief finds your home's title, forges your signature on a quitclaim deed stating you sold your home to him. Then he takes out loans on your home and leaves you in debt. You wouldn't even know it happening until late payment or eviction notices arrive. Insurance doesn't cover you, neither do common identity theft programs. That's why I protect my home with Home Title Lock. The instant Home Title Lock detects someone tampering with my home's title, they shut it down. So please go to HomeTitleLock.com and register your address to see if you're already a victim. Then use code RADIO to receive 30 free days of protection. Please go to HomeTitleLock.com, HomeTitleLock.com. Time now for the O'Reilly Update message of the day. What will Donald Trump do next? Right now, the former president is living in Palm Beach, Florida, and taking it easy, golfing. Maybe he's reading, maybe he's on the phone, I don't know. But I know he's golfing. On Saturday, after the Senate acquitted him of inciting an insurrection, Mr. Trump released a statement saying, quote, "Our historic, patriotic, and beautiful movement to make America great again has only just begun. In the months ahead, I have much to share with you, and I look forward to continuing our incredible journey together to achieve American greatness for all of our people. There has never been anything like it," unquote. Well, that sounds like Mr. Trump is not finished with politics and he's thinking about making a comeback. However, there are major obstacles. The president, as you know, remains popular among Republicans, but he is damaged in the court of public opinion. The only way I can see him winning the presidency again is if the Biden economy collapses. Then Mr. Trump could get some traction, as his economic record for 4 years was stellar. But what happens in the meantime? I think it has to be the TV media. Social media, as we all know, is censoring him, but he is a big star, the most famous person in the world. And when he goes on television, millions and millions of people will watch him. But where? The corporate media, Disney, Comcast, CBS, AT&T, CNN, they're not going to put him on. They despise him. I don't even think Fox would put him on. The president and the hierarchy of Fox are at odds, and he's not happy with the way he was portrayed in the final months on that network. So where does he go? Well, it seems to me there's going to have to be a new venture. There are a lot of different ways to get yourself in front of the American public, but you need a lot of money to do that. In fact, if you were going to launch a new platform, it's $100 million minimum. And even then, it would cost a tremendous amount of money to get marketing and distribution, to get people aware of what you were doing, because people are ingrained in old habits. They either watch television, as they always have, listen to the radio, as you're doing now, or they go on Netflix and all of that. But Donald Trump is a major force in this country and can attract attention and therefore make somebody a lot of money. He really has no other alternative if he wants to stay in the public arena. He has to go on television. One more thing. Mr. Trump is not a disciplined man. We all know that. He's not going to run a program. He could host it like he did with The Apprentice, but he's not going to invent it. He's not going to do that. He's not an innovator in that regard. He's a businessman. So somebody is going to have to present to him something that will keep him in the national spotlight. I'm Bill O'Reilly, and I approve that message by actually writing it. Disagree? I'd like to hear from you. Bill@BillO'Reilly.com. In a moment, something you might not know. Attention savvy investors, Bill O'Reilly here. Want predictable monthly cash flow? Is a 10% annualized immediate monthly payout good for starters? How about bonuses targeted to 21%? If you want the safety and security of a real estate investment, but without the hassles of being a landlord, you have probably heard of NRIA. NRIA is an industry-leading real estate development firm now in its 15th year, developing strategically located, low-risk, high-demand neighborhoods based on supply-demand imbalance. They are a great fit for safety-oriented investors who want cash flow and diversification into carefully chosen real estate. Learn more about NRIA Real Estate Development Fund at nria.net, or please call 800-800-1414. That's 800-800-1414.
An offer of securities is only made by the NRIA Private Placement Memorandum. Read it first. Past performance does not guarantee future results. NRIA is a real estate development firm. Learn more at nria.net.
Now the O'Reilly Update brings you something you might not know. Exactly 98 years ago today, a team of British archaeologists discovered a sealed chamber buried deep in the sands of Egypt. They would be the first people to enter the room in more than 3,000 years. The archaeological crew had finally discovered the tomb of King Tut. The journey began decades earlier. English explorer Howard Carter first arrived in the Middle East in the 1890s. In November 1922, his team finally found steps hidden in debris near the entrance of another tomb. The path led to an ancient sealed doorway. On February 16, 1923, under the watchful eyes of local Egyptian officials, Carter opened the final door to the last chamber. Inside lay a sarcophagus with 3 coffins nested inside one another. The last coffin, made of solid gold, contained the mummified body of King Tut, the teenage ruler who lived around 1400 BC. The riches found in the tomb included golden shrines, jewelry, statues, a chariot, weapons, and clothing. The perfectly preserved mummy was the most valuable, the first one ever to be discovered. The treasures were documented and relocated to museums in Cairo and London. The news of Carter's dig, of course, made global headlines. Tut's discovery would have a lasting impact on pop culture as well, sparking a series of comic books, horror movies like The Mummy, and even a hit record from comedian Steve Martin. The novelty song, simply called King Tut, first appeared on Saturday Night Live in 1978. The single would go on to sell more than 1 million copies. And here's something else you might not know. Steve Martin's King Tut is now another victim of the cancel culture. In 2017, some students at colleges in Oregon labeled the comedian's tune an example of cultural appropriation, demanding the song be removed from streaming services YouTube and reruns of Saturday Night Live. Back after this. By now, you've heard me speak about Jeff Brown, my go-to tech expert, and his firm, Brownstone Research. His firm called the exact peak of the dot-com boom and just issued another major prediction. So if you've got money invested in the market, especially in popular tech stocks, this is critical information. Jeff sat down with Tech Minute's Chris Hurt to discuss something shocking he believes is on the verge of happening. So you can watch that interview at bill5g.com right now. That's bill5g.com. Jeff's top-notch newsletter provides my listeners with research to let them know the best tech companies and the biggest market opportunities before they appear on Wall Street's radar. It's the only way to win in the market. Jeff's track record speaks for itself. He's recommended the number 1 tech stock of 2016, 18, 19, and last year, 2020. His subscribers have seen gains such as 432% and more, sometimes in mere days. Watch Jeff's warning at bill5g.com. bill5g.com. Thank you for listening to the O'Reilly Update. I am Bill O'Reilly. No spin, just facts, and always looking out for you.